Chief Quimby here, and your assignment is to listen to all the GeekCast Radio Network's podcasts.
You're tuned in to the brand new Top 100 Animated Series Nominations podcast, right here on TuneCast and GeekCast Radio. First up, we're diving into the classics, the cartoons from before the 1980s. So sit back and tune in now.
Hello and welcome back to TuneCast, only on the GeekCast Radio Network. I'm TFG1Mike. Joining me is Steve Megatron. Hello, sir.
Yo.
And of course, OptimusSolo is back as well. How you guys doing?
Ho.
You want
a
to
pirate's life for me.
Yeah.
He said yo, I said ho. You missed your part. You missed your cue, Mike.
Yeah, I need a bottle of rum. Please just send me a bottle of rum.
Dun.
Yeah. Send all bottles of rum to geekcastradio.com. All right. No, don't, and stop. You
that was
know. Great. No.
More. It was a perfect use of it.
It was, but no.
Don't give me a reason to.
Uh-huh. We've done 8 Top 100 countdowns in 14 years, and now we go back to the beginning, but we are starting in a completely different way. Over the next 5 episodes of the podcast, we will be revealing the Top 100 Animated Series nominees. Take it away, OptimusSolo, and tell us what's in store for the listeners as we go through this new format.
Well, see, in the world of pop culture, things get done, and then they get redone, or rebooted, or reimagined. So we wanted to just get right into that frame of reference. So yes, we've done a bunch of these Top 100 records, and we decided what better thing than to go back and do one all over again. So that is what we are here to do, but we're going to do it a little different. We can't do it the same way. That'd be boring. People could just go back and listen to the other ones if we did the same thing. So we have to mix it up a little bit. So what we decided to do is to give you tease you guys a little bit over the next 5 episodes. So we're going to narrow the field down. So when we talked about the Top 100 Animated Series Once Upon a Time, first off, it was 15 years ago. So there was 15 years less of content to cover. In the last 15 years, there's been a few cartoons that have come out. And we've had more time to watch the old cartoons and all kinds of other stuff. So if you wanted to actually look at the life of cartoons and how many there would be to choose from in order to narrow it down to a top 100, it would be a monumental task. We'd be talking about thousands and thousands of cartoons. And we don't want to put anybody through that toil, because even though Mike and I could probably get on our Discord and do another 8-hour marathon overnight as we narrow down our list to 100, most people aren't that crazy. So what we wanted
So the funny thing is, before we started this episode, I said, we really should make this a 10-episode arc. And instead of just doing pre-1980s, have it 50s, 60s, 70s, 8, and just do each decade. He's like, only we are that crazy. Yeah, I know.
Mike likes pain. But we figured if we wanted to get people to actually submit their versions of this top 100 as we normally do with these top 100 lists, it would be much easier for them, instead of having to choose from 3,000 cartoons, if we narrowed it down a little bit to say 250. So that is what we have done. We have divided up the cartoon eras into different time periods, and then we have hashed out amongst ourselves. We've looked at online lists, we've looked at rankings and ratings from across the interwebs, and we have narrowed each time period down to 50 nominations, 50 nominees that people will then have the choice to vote out of those 250 shows. So 5 episodes, 50 shows apiece. That's what we're going to reveal. Pretend it's like the day that they do the thing that's usually streamed somewhere because nobody really cares, but they do the thing where they announce the Academy Award nominees. I've never watched that in my life, but I know a lot of like big time movie crazed people might tune in for that. Most people just wait until the article comes out that says like, hey, here's the nominees. But we're going to be doing that. It's like the reveal show where these are the people that could potentially, it's like the most anticlimactic thing we could possibly do, and that's why I love it. It's like we're going to tell you the shows that could possibly, if everything goes right, make it on our top 100. If we don't list the shows off in these episodes, they have 0% chance. There's no write-ins. There's no different ballots. Like, you have to choose from the 250. So what we decided to do is reveal those to you guys in chunks. So today we're going to be starting in chronological order with the pre-1980s. So for those that know anything about cartoons, first cartoon aired in the very late 40s, technically. But basically, you have the 50s is when cartoons took off. So this is going to cover the 1950s, the 1960s, and the 1970s. Why 3 decades, you say? Well, because number one, we had to find a way to group these. That made sense. And in the 50s and 60s and 70s, there was much less cartoons being produced on a yearly basis than, say, the 2000s and 2010s. Where there's a lot of new shows every single year. So from a number standpoint, if you add the 50s, 60s, and 70s together, it's probably still technically less cartoons than what we're going to get when we say like the 1990s or the 2000s or whatever. So that's kind of how we decided to do this. Plus, when you think about ranking and quality and things like that, everybody has a different criteria of how they kind of pick what's going to be on the top 100. But a lot of times, the older the cartoon is, sometimes harder to make the list. Although there are some cases where it does help because it's the first or because it's just been around for so long. But there's definitely not as much recency when it comes to these old shows. So that is what we're going to do. The way we're going to do that today, unbeknownst to Steve and unbeknownst to Mike until like 2 minutes ago, is I have sorted the 50 shows that are going to be revealed today in alphabetical order. So this has no bearing on anything. We have not actually cast any votes for the top 100. So we have no idea what eventually is going to make it or not. So I just figured we'll just rattle them off in alphabetical order. We're going to reveal them in sets of 5. So I'm going to give you 5 shows that are possible nominations for this time period. I might give you a quick couple notes about that set of 5, and then Mike and Steve are going to react. Let us know which ones they really are going to be pulling for to make the top 100, or maybe which ones they're thinking are going to be a cinch or they would vote for, or whatever their comments are about that set of 5. And then we'll move on and do it in chunks of 5 until we have the 50 revealed. Then Mike is going to have a very, very apt timed ad break in there. And then we are going to, because it's the year 2025, and because I think I like to rile Mike's nerves up sometimes, and I know he's probably not a fan of... Steve's going to love AI.
This. Steve's going to love this.
So after the ad break, we're going to do a little section where I asked some AI questions online to predict this set and which ones would make the top 100, and we'll see what AI has to say about that. So, and we'll get our quick reactions on that just for a little bit of, I guess, fun and to try to keep ourselves somewhat current, I guess. And then Mike and Steve will, at the end, and myself will give our kind of final thoughts on the set of 50 overall, maybe a quick guess as to how many of those 50 might make the top 100, or just fun stuff like that. Mike, did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
All right. I'll also give you a tally at the end of how many shows for each decade actually made this set of 50, so how many from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And then I've also scoured the interwebs for 9 different rankings that were online that did similar things to us over the last, decade or so. So things like TV Guide's list, IndieWire's list. There's a variety of those. I have 9 different ones, including IGN's list, and including our first list. So which of these shows made our original list, just as a point of reference. Right. Steve, any questions before we start revealing?
No.
All right. So again, I could say in no particular order, but it is in
alphabetical.
So, in one particular order. That is alphabetical. Mm-hmm. Here is the first set of 5 possible nominees for the Top 100 Animated Series List Part 2.
Father, don't say that. After all, I'm your son. I'm your very own Astro Boy.
Oh, I'm 7, Zark 7. Complex computerized coordinator for G-Force.
Please, Minnie. Maxie, let me go with you. I promise not to get in your way.
Oh, I don't know, Casper.
To arms! The pirates are coming! They'll steal all the silver!
Well, it seems the angry Admiral was unconvinced.
Oh, don't just stand there, Admiral! Do something!
I intend to!
What?
Just this!
So saying, the Admiral sent Crusader tumbling toward the street below.
First off, we have, from the 1960s, the show Astro Boy. This was on both IGN and the Digital Dream Door list. We have Battle of the Planets from 1970s. That made IGN's list, as well as 3 other lists that we looked at. We have Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels, also from the 70s. It made the Channel 4 listing. We have Casper and the Angels, which is also from the 70s. And we have one of the first, actually the first, a lot of people consider it the first cartoon ever, Crusader Rabbit, which is technically from 1948, but we're calling it the 50s. So Astro Boy, Battle of the Planets, Captain Caveman, Casper, and the Angels, and Crusader Rabbit are our first set of 5. Mike, anything that strikes your fancy, any that you think you may vote for out of that group, or are they all not going to be worthy enough on your top 100?
Captain Caveman easily will get my... It'll probably be in the 60s on my list, maybe.
All right. Steve, any reactions to that set of 5?
The only one I could possibly see on there, like, yeah, I mean, I get Captain Caveman, but at the same time, there's like Astro Boy. Like, it had a more modern revival at one point, even if, albeit briefly. So I could see that one. But I don't foresee any of these 5 really making the list.
Yeah, I think the argument for Crusader Rabbit would be it's the first, right? The argument for Casper would be kind of like the iconic character, more so than the show.
Yeah.
I think Battle of the Planets...
Casper and the Angel? You said Casper and the Angels?
Yeah, that's the name of one of the series.
Yeah.
I could see Battle of the Planets possibly showing up.
Battle of the Planets out of those 5 was the one that made the most lists that we looked at. So it was on 4 different lists. And I know Astro Boy, too, from a franchise standpoint, a show that was rebooted or redone a couple different times, so maybe more generations know about that one. I agree with Steve, though. I don't know if any of these 5 will make it.
I don't know if they'll actually make it, but like I said, on my list, I will put Captain Caveman. I will put a different version of Casper. I will put Casper the Friendly Ghost version. I've never seen Casper and the Angel. I
don't know which one. I don't know what form Casper was first. I don't know if it was a theatrical short, a movie, or a cartoon first, but this is obviously one of the early versions of that. I'm not a Casper aficionado. So that is the first set of 5. Nothing that like struck us as like have to make it on there, but be interesting to see. I guess it depends on the makeup of our panel.
Okay, you guys, break it up.
Reed, Johnny, Ben, come quick. It's Dr. Doom. His image is on the television screen. He came right on in the middle of the race.
Doom? But...
Here is Felix the cat, daydreaming again. Say, look at all those signs. Why, Felix doesn't even see them. Let's see what they say. Private property. Scram. Keep out. This means you.
Me, George. You, Jane. Shep, puppy. Big, gray, peanut-loving puppy.
What makes you think so?
Speak, Shep. Jane here, E flat. All elephants have sharp.
Man, we're really hot today. Yeah, our game with the Hillbilly Hill Stars ought to be a breeze. Well, don't make too much of a breeze, Curly. I don't think this gym can stand it.
Get ready, Gip!
Send it my way, short stuff. I wonder what's keeping everybody. The game's supposed to start.
For the second set of 5, we are going to go with the 1967 version of the Fantastic Four. We have Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, who actually had 1 win and 4 nominations, I think, for different awards, whether it be Emmys or whatever I was looking at. It was also on 5 different lists, including this is the first one that was on our original list. It was number 93 on our first countdown. We have Felix the Cat from the 50s. We have George of the Jungle from the 60s. And we have Harlem Globetrotters from the 70s. So Fantastic Four, Fat Albert, Felix the Cat, George of the Jungle, Harlem Globetrotters. Steve, any of those that could potentially get a vote out of you?
I mean, they're all difficult choices because I've seen all of them. But I could probably see maybe George of the Jungle and Felix the Cat, and I would say Fat Albert, although some people may still lump that in with the creator himself of it.
Right. And
so may not get the list just because of that, but I could see those 3. There's been better Fantastic Four series, and then the Harlem Globetrotters, they did a lot of other crossover shows, so I could see that being more where they're recognized, but maybe those 3. I don't foresee me voting for any of them, though.
Right. I think this is too, it's going to be interesting because this episode of Reveal, this first set of 50 is going to be the most, the one that has the most shows that maybe people aren't as familiar with as well, being that some of these are fairly old shows. So that's going to be another thing that may go against, like, depending on what age all of the different people that submit lists are, some of them may not be as familiar with this set as well. So as we get through, it'll be all shows that people know basically and have heard of and things of that nature. So that'll be an interesting progression to do these reveals. Mike, any of them that stood out in that set of 5?
Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids and Harlem Globetrotters. They'll make the low end of my list. I can separate from the creator. The show is what the show is.
Same.
I always looked at the fiction more so than the behind the scenes of whatever. That's just the way I was. I was raised with whatever's on the television, that's your reality. Like, if you're watching something and they're teaching you something, like, that's just what reality was 40 years ago.
I think for me, Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids does represent, I guess in my opinion, from a decade standpoint, like, it's probably one of the most notable shows from the 70s.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I think there's some on this set of reveals that will garner more attention because of them being from the 50s or 60s, which makes them a little bit more classic, a little bit more like original for some of these franchises. 70s is an interesting time period, and I think in my recollection of what I voted for, or I think in the contest that we did 15 years ago, I may have only had 2 shows from the 1970s on my list, and Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids was one of them.
And the 70s was kind of, And the funny thing about the 70s is, as far as I remember, just like everything else in that decade, cartoons were experimental back then.
Like, it was an interesting period for sure.
Yeah, no, and I'm not trying to veer off the conversation, but I just want to point out that the 50s and 60s, you had the Flintstones, the Jetsons, the this, the that, the whatevers. You had the Scooby-Doos, you had the Laugh Olympics, you had all this stuff. The 70s, you had some, like, we could do a whole separate episode of TimCast about the cartoons of the 70s.
Cartoons in the 70s were very heavily censored, and there was a lot of things that they had to get around. And, you know, obviously it's not until the first couple of years of the 80s where we break away from that. Not that the 80s didn't also have other parent groups that were doing other things, but the 70s was very much affected by that. So it's almost like a transition decade. So
it is. It is very much transition.
Interesting on that set. We'll see if Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids or any of those others will be able to make the eventual list. Let's go to our third.
One other note, real quick, really quick, that I remember this. I actually got to go at Freedom Hall in the 90s. I got to see the Harlem Globetrotters. So that's why that cartoon. And besides the fact of them being in Scooby and other things, but that specific cartoon, that's why that's making my list.
I can see Steve's point, though, as well, though. Like, a lot of people may not
absolutely.
Harlem Globetrotters is a cartoon property. They may see it as other things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once again, before your very own eyes, I will hop into the bottom drawer of this here filing cabinet, and then quick as a flash, I'll pop out of the top drawer as superhero Hong Kong Phooey.
Concern, crows. Uh-oh. Them corny crows are coming in for the attack.
No respect again. Not even from a little goldfish.
You like my secret agent?
It's Dr. Zinn.
Nothing can stop it.
Oh, we'll have to work fast.
Look, the robot's taking off.
I'm not getting a reading yet.
Does he fire?
Now.
Soon another ship will be sent to the bottom.
Well, gang, we're on our way to our big gig at Pago Pago Island. How do you like it?
I'd like to throw you over the side for getting us stuck in this old rust bucket.
All right. The third set of 5. We have, there's going to be 3 from the 1970s here. We have Hong Kong Phooey from the 1970s. That appeared on 3 different lists, including our original list at number 96. We have the Huckleberry Hound Show from the 1950s. That had a couple award nominations and wins. It was number 94 on our original list and appeared on 5 of the 9 lists that I looked at in preparation of this. We have Jabberjaw from the 1970s. We have Johnny Quest from the 1960s. That appeared in 5 of the 9 lists as well, and it was as high as number 74 on our original list. And Josie and the Pussycats from the 1970s as well. So that's Hong Kong Phooey, Huckleberry Hound, Jabberjaw, Johnny Quest, and Josie and the Pussycats. Maybe a little bit more name recognition here. Steve, what do you think of that set of 5?
See, this one's tough because this is where it starts getting me. I'm like, oh, I remember all of these.
Yeah.
And I would say that a lot of these have contender status, at least for those of us that are older.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say anybody that's in the modern generations aren't going to have a clue what any of these are unless we showed it to them. And out of these, I liked Huckleberry Hound and Hong Kong Phooey. Jabberjaw was kind of like okay, but those other 2 were kind of like the main 2 that I liked. I mean, a lot of the animation around this time was very, very similar in style, just had a different type of animal of some kind that was the lead of something. But yeah, those 2 I would probably still include on my list.
Mike, there was 3 on that were on our list originally. Like I said, Hong Kong Phooey, Huckleberry Hound, and Johnny Quest. Do all 3 of those still deserve a spot, or do you see some of them getting edged out by the fact that we're including, 15 more years of cartoons?
Absolutely, they deserve a spot. And especially, Jabberjaw. I love oh god, I'll take Jabberjaw all day. I love that
Jabberjaw.
Jabberjaw.
Yeah, Frank Welker.
Yeah, Frank Welker as Curly. Oh man, Frank Welker doing a Three Stooges impression. Give me that all day, every day. And you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong with Scatman Crothers as Hong Kong Phooey, and Huckleberry is Huckleberry. So absolutely, those all belong on the list. I think somewhere.
Definitely be interesting to see how that plays out for sure. Yep. All right. I think for me personally, I love Jabberjaw. I don't know if I could vote for it specifically. It didn't have a huge tenure, but I do think the character is definitely classic. Hong Kong Phooey, I think the other thing that you have to think about with those is there is sometimes an effect that happens in these top 100 countdowns where it's kind of like the same thing that we saw with the top 100 animated movies, the list we did once upon a time, right? Sometimes people will take a certain studio and then they'll rank them and then they'll only include so many. So like they'll say Disney, like I'm only going to include 20 Disney movies in this, or I'm only going to include 10 Pixar movies or something like that. So there becomes a thing like with the Hanna-Barbera when it comes to cartoon series, which ones rise to the top, and is there a cutoff where they won't vote for Jabberjaw because they voted for 6 other that they think are more well-deserving from that studio. So sometimes that can play a part.
I never think like that. I always think of which one is my most favorite, and then I think, okay, which one is my second most favorite that I feel like I can drop. So if I need to, and that's the other thing, and I mentioned this, I think the last time we talked about this on a podcast, I only list 100 to number 1. I don't ever put any numbers above, so that way I know I only can list 100 things. So I don't ever have any extra. So I don't ever have any wiggle room of having to juggle things of whatever to figure out what can belong or what needs to go.
Oh, there's definitely always interesting methods that everybody uses. We all have our different way of narrowing down.
Yeah, I know.
For sure.
Yep.
The players are on the field, in the stadium even. So let's get on with it. Laugh Olympics.
That, sir, is an investigated fabrication. It's Wabbit season. Duck season. Wabbit season. Duck season. Wabbit season. Duck season. Wabbit season. Wabbit season. Duck season. Wabbit season. I say it's duck season, and I say fire.
This is the end of you. Ah! It's Mighty Mouse. Now, take it easy. Take it easy. Don't come any closer. Stop or I'll shoot. Now, let's talk this over, pal.
It is the year 0079 of the Universal Century. A half-century has passed since Earth began moving its burgeoning population into gigantic orbiting space colonies. A new home for mankind, where people are born and raised and die.
I don't think it'll make the top 40.
Aura. She comes with her hunters.
Aura?
Princess Aura. Ming's offspring. She and her witch women warriors will hunt us down.
All right. So the next set of 5. See where we go from here. We may have a powerhouse involved in this one. All right.
Uh-oh.
So we have, from the 1970s, we have the Laugh Olympics that appeared on the Wizard list. From whatever decade you want to qualify it for, we have the Looney Tunes, which may have appeared in 8 of the 9 listings that we did, including number 4 on our original list. It also appeared number 3 on IGN, 3 on the Wizard Countdown, 8 on Cinema Blend, 3 on the TV Guide listing, 1 on the Digital Dream Door, 20 on Channel 4, and number 3 on the Ranker list. So a lot of love for the Looney Tunes. Then we have the Mighty Mouse Playhouse, which also appeared on 4 different lists. We have Mobile Suit Gundam, which appeared on 1 list. And we have the New Adventures of Flash Gordon. So Laugh Olympics, Looney Tunes, Mighty Mouse Playhouse, Mobile Suit Gundam, and the New Adventures of Flash Gordon. Steve, what do you think?
I think really the only ones that might show up here are Looney Tunes, Mighty Mouse, and Mobile Suit Gundam, because Gundam kind of is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of Gundam, but I get that it's a huge anime of, animation, and so like I could definitely see that showing up.
Mike, what do you think?
I hope it shows up.
I know you love your Laugh Olympics.
Y'all gotta understand that was special. That was, and I don't mean you guys, because you guys know. When I say y'all, I'm talking to the audience. That is the Scooby Doobies, the Dum Dums, the this, the that. That was the Hanna-Barbera characters teaming up. You didn't like that. You never saw that. You never saw Scooby Doo going into Dynomutt and Blue Falcon. You never really. I mean, I'm sure they had 1 or 2, maybe just 1. I'm sure you can say which one, OptimusSolo, but it's just one of those things where that was the coolest thing about Laugh Olympics, was that you had all the Hanna-Barbera characters doing Olympic event type thing. Same thing is Laugh Olympics and Wacky Races are essentially the same damn thing, sort of, kind of, same type. But I would like to see the Laugh Olympics in there, even if it's low. I don't care. I don't care if it's at 99, but at least it made it in. And then obviously, like Steve said, with Looney Tunes, was it Looney Tunes?
Yes.
Yeah. Looney Tunes has to make it.
I mean, it would be
Looney Tunes. without Looney Tunes, we wouldn't freaking be here.
I don't think anything is going to go from number 4 on our previous list to boost it off of the
I know. No, I understand.
Years.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just saying, like you said, we've had 15 more years. That's a decade and a half of a new generation that may not. You'd be surprised how many doom scrolling Instagram reels I find of people finding Looney Tunes for the first time and just like, oh my God, what is this? And some of them like it and some of them don't. It's weird.
Yeah. Like I said, out of this set of 5, Looney Tunes was the only one that made it. We'll have to see if Mighty Mouse or Mobile Suit Gundam can make a push to crack into our list this time.
Yeah, just a quick clarification. Mighty Mouse Playhouse, that's not the same thing as New Adventures of Mighty Mouse, right? Because I don't remember Mighty Mouse Playhouse.
Mighty Mouse Playhouse would be the original. I mean, obviously, Mighty Mouse was a theatrical short first, but Mighty Mouse Playhouse was like the 1955, the first like compilation.
Okay, yeah.
Made for TV
I only remember the 80s or the 90s version, the New Adventures of Mouse.
The theme song you definitely know from the 50s, though. That is
probably,
Mighty Mouse
yeah, probably
is here to save the day.
Paddington peered thoughtfully at the box lid and then hurried out to the kitchen.
Barbecue for 2. For who? Me, Sweetie, and me. That's who. Oh, no flowers for me, Sweetie. I'll just borrow some from me good neighbor.
My favorite pet petunias. Why, I'll...
Well, as long as you're back anyway, I might as well explain what's been going on. We all know that everybody can do something, even Bullwinkle, who proved beyond a doubt that he can remember everything he ever ate.
What did you have for dinner 25 years ago today, Bullwinkle?
Moose milk.
Boy, you really can remember everything you ever ate.
That was too easy, Rock. 25 years ago, I always had moose milk.
You were an addict?
No, a baby.
But Bullwinkle is grown up now, and he must learn to face the facts.
Now, everybody try to find a good hiding place. This old tree is going to be the base. I'm going to close my eyes and hide my face and count to 100 by 5s. Ready? Go.
What a nervous night to be walking home from the movies, Scooby-Doo. And all because you had to stay and see Star, Dog Ranger of the North Woods, twice. It's coming from the bushes. Go see what it is, Scooby. Don't worry. I'm right behind you.
All right. Next set of 5. You thought that we had a heavy hitter with Looney Tunes, which may be one of the heaviest hitters of the day. We're getting a group of them here, probably. So with our next set of 5, we have from the 1970s, Paddington. We have from the 1960s, Popeye the Sailor. That was on 8 of the 9 lists that we looked at, including number 53 on our list originally. We have Rocky and Bullwinkle Show, which was on 7 of the 9 lists and was originally ranked number 25 on our first list. We have another 70s powerhouse with Schoolhouse Rock. It appeared on 4 out of the 9 lists. It also has 4 wins and 4 nominations for awards. And then rounding off this set of 5, if those weren't enough, let's add in Scooby-Doo, Where Are You from the 1960s, which was on all 9 lists that we looked at. That's the first one of those that we've seen, and it was ranked number 14 by us originally. So we have one of them ranked 14, 25, and 53 originally. We did not rank Paddington or Schoolhouse Rock. Steve, what do you think about this set of 5?
Ooh, it's got a lot of good contenders here.
Yep.
Man, I could see Scooby-Doo showing up. I could see Paddington. I could see Schoolhouse Rock. But again, we're also, this is 15 years later. There's 15 years more animated series out. There's also people who were 15 years younger when we started this journey.
Yep.
And so some of the people we may be inquiring lists from may be very skewed towards newer stuff, whereas we're very skewed towards old.
Right.
The question is going to end up being interesting.
When we have something ranked, like I would think that there would be like, it won't work out like perfect like this, but if you were on our original list, how high did you have to be ranked in order to be safe and on this list? You know what I mean? Like, you would think like the top 50 maybe from our first list should still be safe. Like, will anything fall 50 spots from the last 15 years? But that's just a stab in the dark. Or is the top 40 safe? Or is the top 60 safe? Like, where is that line where it's like you get into the thing where, well, there's been how many more editions from the last 15 years that are going to start booting out? Like, something that we had, like Hong Kong Phooey, we had that ranked at 96. You would think that would be in much more jeopardy than maybe Rocky and Bullwinkle, which we had ranked 25. You know, is something ranked 25 going to slide 75 spots out of the countdown? I know, like Steve says, definitely depends on the makeup of the people we have involved, for sure. You know, whether you have more females or more males, whether you have more people born before 1990 or after 1990. Whether, you know, all that kind of stuff can play into this. So it's going to be interesting. Mike, we had Popeye, Rocky and Bullwinkle, and Scooby-Doo on our original list. No Schoolhouse Rock or Paddington. Do you think that stays the same or changes?
I think it stays the same, but I think you could add Schoolhouse. I've never gotten into Paddington. I prefer Teddy
That's one
Ruxpin.
that you have to wonder if the movies that have come out, what has there been 3 live action movies that have come out in the last 10 years, like, will those affect that? I don't know.
I think
is that
so.
enough to get that in there? It's hard to say. You know, with Schoolhouse Rock is being 15 more years in the past, or has there been enough time where people will appreciate it? Like, some stuff grows with time. Some stuff more people love through time, and some stuff fades more into the, you know, the history books. So it's interesting how that works. I would be shocked if Scooby-Doo and Rocky and Bullwinkle don't make it. I think Popeye makes it, but I don't think it's nearly as high as 53 anymore.
Yeah. See, that's going to be the interesting thing as we talk through these 5 episodes, folks, as we talk through all of these selections and figuring out where we think they're going to land, because obviously some of these aren't going to make it. But like you're saying with Popeye, like, is he going to make it as high as 53, or is he going to end up at 97 or 84 or whatever? I don't know if that can of spinach can get him as high as 53 anymore.
We will have to see. So that's the first half of shows that are eligible from this time period. Let's jump into the second half.
Dr. Williams, are you all right? I'm okay, Ed. It's C-Lab I'm worried about.
I don't understand. The heating system is working, yet the temperature is falling fast.
And it will fall faster, Space Ghost.
Wrench, socket, plugs, motor, tires, chassis, speed buggy.
That's me.
You are watching the most advanced designed and one of the fastest racing cars in the world. It's called the Mach 5. Watch it really go. Mach 5 is the result of brilliant concept and design and hard work. It was built by one of the geniuses of the automotive industry, my father. And you're about to see just how the fabulous Mach 5 came to be. But first, let me demonstrate how well it handles.
Spider sensor's tingling. Something's wrong up front. What in the name of J. Jonah Jameson is that?
I'm the Rhino. Nothing can withstand me.
So in the second half, we have a couple from the 70s here. We'll have to see if these... It's interesting with this set because there's a couple that I think are more popular for a future version of these shows, which also is interesting when any franchise or show has already been rebooted or reimagined multiple times, how that all works out. So we have from the 1970s, we have C-Lab 2020. Did not make any of the lists we looked at. Obviously, C-Lab 2021 or whatever comes out.
Yeah.
Is part of Adult Swim and has a different type of life. We have Speed Buggy from the 1970s. Mm-hmm. We have, I didn't do this in alphabetical order. This one was supposed to come first. Space Ghost and Dino, which was also obviously later redone into Space Ghost Coast to Coast, even though it's completely different. We have the 1960s version of Speed Racer. That's 1967. And we also have from 1967 that version of Spider-Man, which Out of this group, only one made our original list. That would be Spider-Man, which was ranked 81 on our original list. So how do we feel about this set, Mike?
Other than Sputtering Speed Buggy, I'm probably not voting for any of these. I did not like the 1967 Spider-Man. It was, I don't know what it was about that one. It just was, maybe it was the animation, if I remember. I don't know. It just didn't hit with me.
As far as the lists that we looked at, the only ones that appeared on a couple different lists would have been Speed Racer and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Steve, what do you think of these?
I remember all of these shows.
Off of a group that, coming after Scooby-Doo and Popeye and Rocky and Bullwinkle. It's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, wow, we just went into the trash can.
Well, I mean, Popeye is great. I could see him possibly showing up. But again, that a lot of these depend on if they've had a modern resurgence somewhere.
Yeah.
And depends on the pool of people we have that are submitting lists. I don't foresee really any of these showing up. I mean, I had Speed Buggy on my original list in the 90 to 81 section. I think it was like 80, 89 or something.
I love Buggy.
I had to dig out my old list. I was like, I know I have this somewhere. I pulled out a external hard drive that I had this backed up on. I'm like, there's my list.
Here's my list. That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So I've got a number of shows that are they take place between the 80s, 90s, and that's the bulk of my stuff.
I think with Spider-Man, it was ranked number 81 on our list, and I think that's the danger zone. Like if you're in the 80s or 90s, you're in trouble.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One thing I'll say is I didn't realize C-Lab 2020 was that old. I had no idea it was in the 70s or 60s or wherever.
1972, yep.
Okay, yeah, but I didn't realize, I thought that it was at least early 2000, especially when C-Lab 2020. I've never seen either one. They're not my shows, but I've heard of C-Lab 2021. Didn't even realize that C-Lab 2020 was almost 50 years over 50 years ago.
Crazy. Time flies when you're watching cartoons. And all right, moving into the next set.
Captain, did you notice Dr. McCoy's reaction when I asked him if there was any possibility he might have made an error?
He said there's always that possibility. And that's not like Bones at all. Come on.
Free Geek service to anyone who wants it.
Goodfellow made that announcement a month ago.
And since that time, most of the people have subscribed to Geek service.
It's a serious situation. The Geek has completely changed the lifestyle of the world.
In what way?
I'll show you. Look out the window at what used to be a busy downtown street.
Great Neptune. Where is everyone?
Geek subscribers are all at home. Men don't have to go to their jobs anymore. Women don't have to go shopping. The good old Geek takes care of everything. Whatever they need at home is delivered by these Geek trucks. No drivers.
That truck is carrying supplies to a factory. An automated factory. No workers.
Hey, who tripped me? Not me, Fats. I wouldn't do a thing like that.
Me neither. You must have tripped over that itty-bitty ant. Correct. You were tripped up by me, Adam Ant.
The sneaky service is real proud of you, Secret Squirrel. I knew you were the only agent that could bring in Yellow Pinky. You're so right, Chief.
It's time for official Banana Splits Club business. Bingo, as official temporary second banana, please check attendance.
Yeah, but we all know who's here, Flea.
When fighting crime, your police department never overlooks the slightest clue. A small scratch on the inside of a safe door proved to have been made by the rim of someone's glasses. This clue turned out to be an important factor in the arrest of one of 3 suspects. Now let's see what's lined up for our next cartoon.
We have Star Trek, the animated series from 1973. It had 1 win and 1 nomination. It was on the IGN list originally, but not on ours. Super Friends, I guess all-encompassing Super Friends. It was ranked number 40 by us originally, 50 by IGN. It also appeared in 3 other lists. We have the Adamant and Secret Squirrel Show from the 1960s, the Banana Splits from the 1960s, and the Dick Tracy Show from 1961. So a series of 1960 shows, but the ones that seemed like they garnered the most attention from other lists that we looked at, including ours, was Super Friends and Star Trek The Animated Series. Steve, what do you think about these 5?
While I had Super Friends and the Adamant and Secret Squirrel on my original list, I don't know if they would make it to the new list. And the same goes for Star Trek The Animated Series. I did not have it on my original list. And I still stand by that decision because we've had some better Star Trek series in the last 10 years that I would argue deserve a spot.
Right, and that's the other thing that becomes interesting, because before it was the only Star Trek animated series, and now it is one of 3 or 4 that have come out, at least 3 that have.
It's one of 3. Yeah, there's so Prodigy and Lower Decks.
So that's also something that starts playing into it, like for a series that appeared in our, when we did this 15 years ago, that didn't have any competition in their franchise with other series, and then now they do, such as that. Such as Star Wars has had, a number of different series that have come out in the last 15 years.
Absolutely.
Well, it's stuff like that.
It's like Batman and the Ninja Turtles have all had multiple revivals, and DuckTales.
All of the Marvel, all of the DC stuff has had new stuff. Before there used to only be one DuckTales, one Animaniacs, now there's 2, stuff like that. So it's interesting how that would play out.
Wait a minute, Prodigy is animated?
Star Trek Prodigy? Yeah. It's
really?
CGI. It was on Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay. I thought that was live action.
No. Yeah, they just had Discovery, Picard, and Strange New Worlds, and that garbage shoot that's Section 31.
Yep.
If we were ranking classic action figure lines, then I might vote for Dick Tracy, but I can't vote for it just based off of the cartoon.
No, that's no.
And I've watched way more Super Friends than I did at this point 15 years ago, since I've watched 3 of the series in their entirety so far, or 3 of the different seasons. But
because you were doing your Geek Showcase guide,
Ultimate 80s
thing.
book. Yep. So I've done all the ones that appeared in the 80s. I've watched all of those, and there's some that are definitely better than others. But
yes, there are.
But like Steve said, now 15 more years of Marvel and DC stuff has come out.
Oh yeah.
It may have been, that may be one that, even though it was ranked 40 on our list originally, that may be one of the ones that drops the most.
Oh yeah,
it could definitely be dropped completely off, and that would be something where I didn't think anything in the top 50 would fall off, but I could see Super Friends falling off completely.
Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see.
Give me the list again.
Star Trek The Animated Series, Super Friends, Adamant and Secret Squirrel Show, Banana Splits, and Dick Tracy.
Secret Squirrel is the only one I would probably vote for. I love Secret Squirrel. Secret Squirrel is so, that show was so, out of all of the random animal shows that we got back then. No, seriously, Secret.
I get it.
Okay. No. Okay, hear me out, okay? I don't think this will ever happen, and I would not, I don't think I want it to happen, but let's go back to that time. Could you imagine a Secret Squirrel and Danger Mouse crossover? I would have loved that. That would have been amazing. But
they would have just called it Danger Squirrel.
That's right. That's right.
All right, let's move.
Yeah, Secret Squirrel.
Move on here. So up to this point, we've only had 4 shows that have been on at least 6 or more of the list that we looked at. So those 4 shows would be the Looney Tunes, Popeye, Rocky and Bullwinkle, and Scooby-Doo. We have 3 sets of 5 left, and we're going to see 6 shows that were on at least 6 or more lists. So we got some heavy hitters coming in these last 3 sets of 5. So.
Oh, boy, good old Sunday. Nothing to do but lazy around and read the Sunday paper. Oh, honey.
Yes, Fred?
Did you see the Sunday paper?
No, Fred, it hasn't come yet.
For heaven's sake, why'd you have to get me up so early? Why?
Today's the day for your first driving lesson, Mudsie, remember?
That's right, Mudsie. Slide over.
Oh, no, you don't. Why does a ghost have to learn to drive?
What would you like, Gumby?
A chocolate milkshake, please, without ice cream.
What? No ice cream?
It makes me so cold and stiff, I can't move.
But what's this about inviting Mr. Spacely when all we have in the place is leftovers?
I didn't invite him. He invited himself.
All right, break. When does your boss get here?
Any split second.
Where are the leftovers?
In the kitchen.
Never fear while Rosie's here.
Aloha! That's Hawaiian talk for howdy. This is old Beach Boy McGilla surfing at Wacky Wacky Beach. Uh-oh! What's Hawaiian for ouch?
All right. First off, we have from the 1960s. It was nominated for one award at least, which is interesting because that was a primetime award, not a daytime award. It was on all 9 lists, including number 9 on our list. We're talking about the Flintstones. We also have from the 1970s the Funky Phantom. We have the Gumby Show from the 1950s. It appeared on one of the lists we looked at. We have a show that appeared on 7 lists, and it was ranked 45 on our original list. This would be the Jetsons. And then we also have the Magilla Gorilla Show from the 1960s, which did appear on one of the lists as well. So that's the Flintstones, the Funky Phantom, the Gumby Show, the Jetsons, and Magilla Gorilla. Mike, where do you want to start with this set of 5?
See, I grew up with all of these, and Jetsons and Flintstones are easily top 20. Easily top, somewhere in the top 20. They just are.
For you.
I don't care.
They were 9 and 45 for us in the first round.
Well, fine, but I'm saying, like, okay, I'm just saying, that's fine, but I'm saying, like, for what they did, and I think for how approachable they can be, to show these to people today, and just to have, like, you know, Steve, or either one of you guys, do you guys follow the Professor of Rock on any social media? Okay, well, this is Guy, not Professor of Rock. Anyway, he does blind react to music, or he does the no react to, like, stand there and don't react to the song type stuff. Like, show the Jetsons or the Flintstones to somebody and have them react to it. And I think it would be a positive thing because it's something that they've probably never seen before, kind of thing. And it's not just because I grew up watching the Jetsons and the Flintstones, but it's just they're 2 very different shows that I think are really, really good. What else was it? Magilla was fun. He probably, unfortunately, is going to be, if he makes the list, he's going to be in the 80s or 90s.
I feel like that's one that the Hanna-Barbera group would knock Magilla Gorilla off in lieu of something else. We also had the Funky Phantom and Gumby.
I don't care about the Funky Phantom. Gumby, I like the blockheads.
I thought Gumby would have made our original list, but it did not. I think another thing.
Do you remember where it? Because I know you kept or you used to.
I'd have to pull it up still. Yeah, I still have it, but I would have to pull it up to see where.
Yeah.
I think one thing that a show like the Flintstones, besides it being groundbreaking for the adult or for the time aspect of it, and kind of the way it paved the way for a lot of stuff that came in the 90s and since then. I think one thing that the Flintstones has, similar to what we see with Scooby-Doo, similar to what we see with Looney Tunes, is the Flintstones it hasn't gone that long of a time period without it being brought back into pop culture, whether it be through another series, a movie, or whatever the case may be. Maybe not as much in the last 10-ish years, but for a long time, just like Scooby-Doo, like, right, it gets reinvented every couple years into a new series, etc. Looney Tunes, same thing. I think that's something that helps Flintstones kind of stay in that top 50 range, whereas Jetsons hasn't had that as much, which, even though it had the series in the 60s and then it had a kind of a reboot in the 80s, other than that, we haven't seen a whole lot of Jetsons in the last 20 to 30 years, so sometimes I feel like that may hurt it. But
I think the only time we've seen the Jetsons is in certain commercials, like that one Walmart commercial where everybody was there, like all the 80s.
No, I agree. So to me, it comes down to the Flintstones, the Jetsons, or Gumby. Steve, what do you think?
I think it just comes down to the Flintstones and the Jetsons. I honestly don't see any other contenders there. I think that none of the other ones will show up. If
very well be
out of these 5, it'll be those 2.
Very well could be true.
Are you loco? Senor Grumbles will kill you to pieces.
And I'll throw the pieces to the coyotes, Tenderfoot.
Whom's a tenderfoot?
You are. Oh, ouch, ow, oh, ow, ow.
What do you say, Quick Straw?
I said.
Oh, ouch, ow, oh, ow, oh, gosh, ow, oh, ow.
We got Dracula.
And Brainless Brain. We're over our junkyard, Mo. What do we do now?
We deflate and...
Oh, and a day's work for a robotic stooge.
Go west, young man, go west. I'll bet the guy who said that ain't been west of Hoboken. Not a living thing in sight. Nothing but that tree. At last, a square meal. Petrified.
All right. Down to our last set of 10. So first half of that would be the Pink Panther show, which came out in 1969. It got a nomination, 6 lists that it appeared on, including number 55 on our list. Quick Draw McGraw show, which got a nomination. It only appeared on 1 list, and it was not on our original list. We have the Robotic Stooges and the Tom and Jerry show from 1975 that appeared on lists, including number 33 on our original list, and the Woody Woodpecker show, which appeared on 7 lists, including number 84 on our original list. So we have 2 shows that had nominations for awards, Pink Panther show and the Quick Draw McGraw show. We had 3 shows that appeared on our original list, Woody Woodpecker, Pink Panther, and the Tom and Jerry show. Steve, which one stands out in this group of 5 for you?
Probably the Tom and Jerry show.
That was ranked the highest by us. Do you think the Pink Panther or Woody Woodpecker have a chance?
Probably Woody Woodpecker, only because they came out with some recent series of it, or movie, and then people just kind of search it out on YouTube to watch. Yeah. So I could see that having a resurgence as well.
Mike, what do you think?
Tom and
Jerry. It hurt me that Quick Draw McGraw didn't make our first list, but if it didn't make the first list, I can't see it making this list.
No, I as much as I love the Quick Draw, I don't think even Baba Louie can get him on the list, unfortunately. But
does Woody Woodpecker or Pink Panther have a chance?
Oh yeah. Tom and Jerry is universally classic, just like Scooby-Doo and everything else. So I hope that makes it. I'm pretty sure that will make it. I hope Pink Panther makes it. Pink Panther is one of those things where it's infinitely classic in my mind. They had so many different versions of it over the years. They had so many versions of that Inspector Clouseau actually popped out and became his own character and did his own separate movies a couple of times. And then they brought it back, and you had the father of the bride be Inspector Clouseau in the live action Pink Panther movies. I'm like, oh my God, how did Steve Martin become Inspector Clouseau? That was just crazy. So I love and the coolest thing about the Pink Panther show, besides the Pink Panther himself, is the Ant and the Aardvark. I love those I love those cartoons. This is so cool. Yeah.
Okay, Yogi. I'll be glad to let you read the telegram.
Yeah, you see, Boo, the Ranger can't make a move without me.
This is one move I'm making without you, Yogi. Here, read this.
There's a big door by Mr. Ranger. It means you're leaving the park.
It means I'm leaving you, Yogi. And I want to tell you, you've caused me nothing but trouble since I've been here. Filching picnic baskets. Yogi, you are a bad bear. And I'm glad to get away from you.
Since we're leveling, sir, let me point out that we bears were here before you Rangers. Now it's don't do this and don't do that. And we're always tripping over the red tape.
For your information, sir, and there is nothing personal here, you are known to all the animals as Jughead Smith.
I'm glad to know how you feel about me, Yogi. Goodbye and good riddance. If I never see a bear again, it'll be too soon.
Step right up, folks. This is it, the big time in the big top, where for a slight fee you'll see right before your very eyes the most daring, unbelievable high trapeze act ever attempted. I call your attention to stage right for the start of this death-defying act.
Nobody said anything about defying no death to me.
This brave performer will swing across the street, catch his partner, and swing back, all without a net.
Now he tells me.
Okay, maestro. If you please.
Right! Huh? Hey, what's that crowd doing in the alley?
Aha! Ahead the sign says bank. I'll go in for the child like an armored tank. There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
All right, that leaves us with 5 final nominees for this time period. We're going to go with 4 shows from the 60s and 1 from the 70s. So we have from 1961, the Yogi Bear Show, which appeared on 6th list and was number 48 on our original Top 100. None of the rest appeared on any of our Top 100, but they did appear on at least one list that we looked at. We have from 1961 also Top Cat. We have from 1964 Underdog. From 1968 Wacky Races. And from 1977 What's New? Mr. Magoo. So the Yogi Bear Show, Top Cat, Underdog, Wacky Races, What's New? Mr. Magoo. Steve, any stand out for you there?
I know I had Top Cat and Yogi Bear on the original list that I had, but none of the other ones.
Do you think either of those two stand a chance for this new iteration?
Only Yogi Bear, to be honest, because they have, the Yogi Bear, campgrounds. They have, they've had the movie that came out, I think it was like 10, 15 years ago. With Tom Cavanaugh on it. Yeah.
Justin Timberlake was in one too.
Yeah, he was Boo Boo.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And Dan Aykroyd was Yogi. But Tom Cavanaugh was Ranger Smith.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, and, I could see it hanging around just because of that film.
Is that one that falls, though, from 48 to, like, the other end of the countdown, or do you think
I think so?
Okay.
I mean, I had it in my, my back 20, close to between 100 and 81. So
yeah.
I think it still fits.
I could see it sneaking in towards the end of the countdown, so to speak. So, Mike, what do you think of those? I know you're a big Wacky Races fan.
Wacky Races, yep.
I know it's getting your vote. Do you think it makes the top 100?
I don't think there's enough people that would vote for it, but I hope it at least makes it close to the getting in. Maybe 101, 102, something like that. I don't know.
What about Yogi Bear?
Obviously Yogi. Yeah, you got to get Yogi. Hey, Boo Boo, I see a picnic basket over there. Go get it. Yeah. What else was in that group?
Top Cat and Underdog.
Yeah, Top Cat. Oh yeah, Top Cat's got to get in.
And Mr. Magoo.
Yeah. Okay. So between Top Cat, Underdog, and Mr. Magoo, I think Top Cat is Top Cat. Underdog might have a chance, but I think Top Cat has the best chance. I don't know of anyone besides maybe you and I, Kev, that have. Well, I don't think Steve, you've never seen Mr. Magoo, have you?
I've seen all of these.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know.
I watched so many cartoons as a kid. It's insane.
I know you. Well, I understand. But look, sometimes I hear certain cartoons that I've seen and I'm like, how many of my friends have actually seen this? And I never hear any of us talk about Mr. Magoo. So,
I mean, out of these, I liked Underdog and I liked Top Cat. Underdog did have a CGI movie a few years back. Top Cat has not had a revival.
No, it hasn't.
So I feel like this one, unless it's our generation, I don't feel like they're going to vote it in.
I think the other thing to consider too, Mike, I know you said, you Hope Wacky Races at least gets close or something like that. I would counter that with saying one thing we didn't kind of talk about right off of the bat is any of the shows that are even getting mentioned today means that at least they were considered for their time period. You know what I mean? So it is like, I guess we are saying that it's at least top 50 of its time period. You know, whether it comes close or not, it just by being mentioned, it means that it was in the 250 that we were considering, I guess you could say. So that's something to speak for that. So, Mike, I think you had a
mesmerizing edit loop in this podcast. Vote for this. Vote for this.
Oh, Lord
vote
have mercy. Mike, do you need to pay the bills before we go any further?
Yeah, I think so. Unless, did you have anything else?
Not until after we talk about the AI presence.
Yep. All right. Well, we're going to get to the artificial intelligence before the actual intelligence right after this.
Hassan Chop! Do you like retro cartoons? Then Saturday Morning Rewind is the podcast for you. Join them each month as they talk about classic cartoons and interview legendary voice actors like Jim Cummings.
I am the terror that flaps in the night.
Corey Burton.
Sometimes toys can be so flighty.
Rob Paulson.
Sure, Blaine, but how are we going to find chaps our size?
Nancy Cartwright and many more.
Eat my shorts.
So grab a bowl of Lucky Charms.
They're magically delicious.
Put on your hammer pants. Go to SaturdayMorningRewind.com. And be prepared to feel like a kid again. Once again, that's SaturdayMorningRewind.com. Saturday Morning Rewind was voted best podcast ever by its host, Tim Nidell. So it's gotta be good.
Ah, brave new world that has such putzes in it. You know, kids, a lot has changed while your old Uncle Joker's been away. New Gotham, new rules, even a new Batman.
It isn't 65 years in the future, but Legends of the Dark Knight has gone beyond. Batman Beyond, that is.
Ah, the new boy. Ears are too long and I miss the cape, but not too shabby. Not too shabby at all.
Join Steve and Mike as they delve into the remaining episodes of the podcast, where they'll cover Batman Beyond, products, games, and more. Check it out only on GeekCastRadio.com.
Tooncast has been the premier cartoon podcast here at the GeekCast Radio Network since 2009. From taking you beyond the cartoons we grew up with to seasonal saucy toon talk, and now we get the origins of toonsters everywhere as we ask guests 30 questions about their cartoon watching experiences, plus so much more. Tooncast is back. So join me, TFG1Mike, and the rest of the GCRN crew as we give you all the toon talk you will ever need, only on the GeekCast Radio Network and wherever you consume your podcasts. We are beyond good, beyond evil, beyond your wildest imagination. We are all tunes all the time here on Tooncast.
Hi, welcome to Up Nerd. What is Up Nerd? Up Nerd is a podcasting network of shows hosted by me, The Uneven Flow. People have told me I like to talk at them about a pretty wide range of topics, comics, games, movies, books, whatever, and now I'll be able to talk at you. Along with the weekly show will be 2 bi-weekly shows. First we have Find You Pick, a show where one host picks a movie, then both hosts have to watch it. Then the next episode, the other host picks the movie. Each show will have a breakdown of why it is that movie was picked by that host, after which will be a discussion about what it is we just watched. Lastly, we have the show Top 3, Bottom 3. Similarly to Find You Pick, one host picks a television series, and the next week, the pick alternates to the other host. Here, the episodes of the show are chosen by the top 3 episodes and the bottom 3 episodes, as rated on IMDb.com. Yes, this is probably the worst way to watch and review a television show, and yes, that's the idea. On our shows, I'll detail out how you can suggest things for us to watch. You can reach out and talk with the hosts, and maybe even appear on an episode. I hope you'll join me for this exciting new podcast adventure. I swear we're going to make it more than 8 episodes.
Hold it! Hold it right there! Let's see if you're really ready to watch this movie. Okay, popcorn? Check. Soft drink? Check. Warner Brothers ball cap? Aha! You can't watch a Warner Brothers movie without a Warner Brothers ball cap. Listen, Doc, what if they ordered a Warner Brothers ball cap so they had it next time? Well, here's all you have to do, folks. Just send for this. A new Warner Brothers catalog. Use it to order your Warner Brothers ball cap. And while you're at it, you can order stuff like T-shirts, posters, movie books, ties. That's neckties. It's all in the catalog, which you can get now by dialing this 900 number. So when you get a chance, call...
No, they have to call now. They can't watch the movie until they order their new catalog.
You're despicable. Don't forget to call, folks.
All right, folks, we are back here on Tooncast. We are also simulcasting this on GeekCast Radio's feed as well. So before we close out this first episode of the GCRN Top 100 nominees for animated series, OptimusSolo is going to take us through his AI chat GPT prediction thing he did. Okay. Take it away. I don't know.
I thought it would be fun to just mess with online or AI as far as just asking it certain questions about our countdown to see what kind of things it said. And we'll get the panel's reaction to the different things I said and what AI reacted and see if we think that they're somewhat on the money or not. So, obviously it said that predicting how people are going to vote for the top 100 animated series based on our list is going to require a balance of nostalgia, critical acclaim, cult fandom, broad appeal, things of that nature. So it said these things may play a part. Number one, nostalgia bias. Viewers tend to rank more familiar and emotionally resonant series higher. Shows that grew up with often get preference. Critical acclaim versus popularity. So whether a show was praised both critically and popularly, if that's the case, it almost guarantees a top spot. Fandom intensity. So franchises with passionate fan communities, Star Wars, certain animes, stuff like that, tend to punch above their general audience percentages. And genre and demographic spread. So to appeal broadly, the voting will likely naturally distribute across adults, families, kids, men, women, etc. So how it has a spread across demographics or genre can play a part as well, or like active online fan bases. So I asked it a couple other questions. I asked it to kind of summarize the different decades. So for the 50s and 60s, it says mostly the shows that would make it from this time period would have to be foundational series that were historically significant, but that they were less likely to place high due to generational distance. All right. And it said that the voter influence would be low unless older demographics are overrepresented. So unless we have a lot of old folks, that these shows may not be represented as much. And it actually lists 6 shows that I'm not going to reveal quite yet. And then for the 1970s, it says fewer high-ranking contenders. Many shows from this era are remembered fondly, but are unlikely to crack the top 50, kind of like what we talked about with the 70s being kind of that interesting generation, kind of a transition generation, and I list 5 potential shows from there as well. And then I asked it to summarize how many shows would make the top 100 from every decade. I know our group, we lumped a few together, but
right,
decade by decade, what it thinks is going to make it. So it says from the 1950s that we're going to have 1 or 2 entries, historical impact only. From the 1960s, it says 2 to 4 shows, iconic but low recency. And it actually says from the 1970s, 3 to 5, based purely on nostalgia. So that is its guesses from that. Then I asked one more question. I asked, out of the 50 shows that we just revealed, which were going to make our top 100. So it broke it down and told me that there's about 14, I think it lists, that said have no chance. And there's, looks like another 14 that says possibly or occasionally featured on people's lists. And then there's 15 that it says are most likely to appear on a top 100 list. Before we get to what it thinks, I thought it would be fun also to look at our previous lists and stuff like that. So from this group of 50, which breaks it down by decade, we had 8 in this group that were from the 1950s or before. We had 20 from the 1960s. We had 22 from the 1970s, which is interesting since we said that's kind of a weird generation, but it actually had the most in this 50. On our last countdown, we had 16 of these shows appear on our list. And ChatGPT says we're going to have 15 this time. So it may be onto something. We'll see. If we went through the other 9 or the other 8 rankings that we looked at online, this set would have comprised 21 shows, 20, 20, 28, 9, 6, and 5. So we go as far up as 28 and as far down as 5 of these shows appearing. So, Mike, what do you think is your best guess for how many shows from this group of 50 that will make our top 100? Just kind of a random guess.
13.
16 made it last time. You say 13 this time?
Yep.
Steve, do you think it's right that we'll have less that appear this time as we did? If we had 16 last time, that it should go down, stay the same, or go up?
I think it's going to go down.
Interesting. So here's the shows that ChatGPT says have no chance. They said Casper, Laugh Olympics, Mr. Magoo, Josie and the Pussycats, The Funky Phantom, Jabberjaw, The Robotic Stooges, Magilla Gorilla, Speed Buggy, Banana Splits, Animant, Secret Squirrel Show, The New Adventures of Flash Gordon, Paddington, and C-Lab 2020. Mike, agree or disagree?
I agree with some of it, but I disagree with some of it because Secret
Steve,
Squirrel.
Do you think that list is right, that none of those have a chance?
I think it's pretty close.
All right. I think it's interesting for sure. These are the ones that they say are probably going to appear at least occasionally through the list that we get turned in, but they're not sure if it's going to have enough to make the list. This would be Crusader Rabbit, the 1967 Fantastic Four show, Captain Caveman, Underdog, Wacky Races, George of the Jungle, Top Cat, Battle of the Planets, Quick Draw McGraw, Mighty Mouse, Huckleberry Hound, Pink Panther, Yogi Bear, and Super Friends. So they're on the fence on those sets. Steve, what do you think?
I could see some of those actually landing on some lists. I don't know if they'll hit the top 100, but I think they'll definitely hit some of the contributor lists.
Right. Mike, any opinions on those?
Yeah, I could see that happening.
All right. Here is the 15 that it says are most likely to appear based on influential aspects, culturally significant, critically acclaimed, or historic aspects of it. So these are the 15 it thinks will make the list. It says Felix the Cat, Speed Racer, the 1967 Spider-Man, Johnny Quest, The Jetsons, Popeye, Fat Albert, Rocky and Bullwinkle, Mobile Suit Gundam, Astro Boy, Schoolhouse Rock, Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo, The Flintstones, and the Looney Tunes. Steve, what do you think?
I think about 85 to 90% of those are going to definitely show up on this list.
Yep.
It's interesting too. It talks about, it gives like even a little like snippet of each one, which is kind of interesting. So like for Mobile Suit Gundam, it says the birth of the real robot genre in anime, cornerstone of mecha anime. For Tom and Jerry, it says one of the most awarded 7 Academy Awards, timeless. For Looney Tunes, it says possibly top 10, iconic and foundational for American animation. Flintstones, it says first primetime animated sitcom, huge cultural milestone. So it's interesting what their opinion of this set of 50 was, and we'll have to see how accurate that is. Steve, when you're looking at the overall group from the pre-1980s, what is your takeaways, or what do you think?
I'm definitely seeing that it's going to be difficult for us old timers. It's not going to be so difficult for the younger generation. It's definitely something we're more familiar with, something we grew up with, something our parents grew up with. So, I mean, there's a lot of history in a lot of these. And not that they're not relevant or not good. They're just quite possibly just forgotten or overshadowed by newer inundated content, because as we know, the content mill doesn't slow down, and we get constant revivals of old shows. or reimaginings of them. And so there definitely is going to be a lot of hair splitting the closer we get to modern day of like 2025, where we have, 3 or 4 versions of Ninja Turtles and 12 Transformers shows, and there's gonna be a lot of hair splitting there, and I feel like it's gonna get very fragmented very quick, which could possibly push out a lot of these.
I think one thing that I'm going to be very interested in, I'm going to try to track it a little bit, is I feel like there's definitely in this time period maybe a half a dozen, let's say 6 to 10 shows that have really stayed in the cultural bubble and have been rebooted, redone, reimagined, et cetera, had movies, had new cartoon series, et cetera. And then there's some that haven't, and I'm interested to see how that breaks down. So what I'm talking about here is, will the likes of something like Huckleberry Hound, Pink Panther, the Jetsons, Popeye, or even maybe like a Rocky and Bullwinkle be forgotten about because of a lack of reboots? Not that they haven't had some, but we're not talking about the number that we have seen with the Looney Tunes, the Flintstones, Scooby-Doo. Even Tom and Jerry have had quite a few of those. So I'd be interested to see how that plays a part, because a lot of these shows came out in the same time period, were as popular or as influential as each other, but some have just stayed in the zeitgeist, so to speak, and some have not. And I'd be interested to see if that plays true, whereas if the ones that haven't are the ones that drop or disappear from the countdown. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting.
So that is our first set of 50. We're going to do this 4 more times. So we're going to do it with the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and then the all-encompassing 2010s to present, only because we haven't had a full decade for the 2020s. So we're lumping a few of those in with the 2010s. So that's how that's going to go. Mike, do we need to tell them about anything else?
I don't think so.
Be interesting as people watch this, listen to this, and start to formulate their voting lists and the top 100 that they're going to turn in. How many from this time period will they include?
Yeah, because like you said, it's going to be interesting to see how many actual of the younger generation now are we going to get lists from. Versus,
it did say one other thing. It says minimum from our list should be 12. It says maximum would be 20.
Huh?
Out of this group of 50, it says minimum of 12 of these should make our list. Like we said, we had 16 last time. It's saying minimum 12. It says the maximum amount of these 50 that will make our top 100 is 20.
Oh, okay. I still
Between
say
12
13.
and 20. You're in the range.
I know I'm in the range, but I still say 13.
Lucky 13.
Because it's the 13 ghosts of Scooby-Doo.
I knew you were going there. I knew.
That's right. That's right.
That, folks, is when you know it's time to wrap up the show.
That's right.
The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo.
All right, Toonsters. As always, we want to thank you for joining us here at GeekCast Radio and GeekCast. If you'd like to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show, there are several ways to do so. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can listen to and comment on all of our content. Plus, we now have a brand new Fourth Wall store where you can buy all of our merchandise. Shop.geekcastradio.com. Go check it out. Send us email to feedback@geekcastradio.com. You can check us out on all the podcasting clients you choose to listen to, Spotify and Apple and whatever. You can follow us on Twitter at GCRN Tooncast for this show. You can also follow at GeekCast Radio for the network. I am at TFG1Mike. Steve, what's your Twitter?
At SCP-21.
OptimusSolo?
You said it. At OptimusSolo.
Yeah. There you go. What's your other Twitter for your other thing?
I don't know if I have other ones for the other. Do I? I have. We have the Cinema Geeks. We have the Geek Showcase. There's too many Twitters to remember. Mike knows all about that.
That's right. You can become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/GeekCast Radio Network. You can also check out Tooncast, all tunes, all the time over there, as well as Cinema Geekcast. And you do have Geek Showcase over there too on Facebook, right? I think so.
I don't know.
And
I
then
can't keep track.
Steve has Steve Phillips VO over there as well. So you can check all that out over on Facebook. Join us next time when we will be revealing the top 100 animated series 1980s nominees. That's going to be a bloodbath. For now, I am TFG1Mike with
Steve Megatron.
and OptimusSolo.
Thank you for listening. Until next time. Oh yeah, and unleash the geek in you.
You've just heard a podcast from the GeekCast Radio Network. If you enjoyed this discussion, head over to GeekCastRadio.com to check out this episode's post for more insights and links. Interact with the show, feedback at GeekCastRadio.com, or interact with us on X at GeekCast Radio and on Facebook at GeekCast Radio Network. Don't forget to subscribe to the GeekCast Radio Network of podcasts on your favorite podcatcher. So until next time, unleash the geek in you.